What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another great epic episode of Just My Opinion Reviews. Guys, this is going to be a spoiler-filled review for Superman that is in theaters right now, 2025, directed by Mr. James Gunn. And yes, you did hear me say spoilers, okay? I am going to spoil this film up, down, left, right, in, and out, as if you've already seen it. That is your warning, okay, guys? That is your warning. Now, this is going to be very, very raw. I am by myself today, not going to do any editing or anything like that. But I do have a number of the promotional production photos and also artwork posters of like a lot of the characters. And so we're just going to go through, or at least I'm just going to go through, talk about what I like, what I did not like, kind of what I did in my non-spoiler review, which is right here. But we're going to be doing full spoilers. So if you have not seen Superman, which I'm pretty sure you have, there is a non-spoiler review right here for you to go check out. So you can go check that out right there and then come back and get all of my spoilery goodness over here. And again, final warning, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. And the first thing that I do want to talk about in this spoilers review is some of the things that I feel I got wrong in my non-spoilery review. Now, I'm trying to show you a subtitle that I had on my spoiler review. I said, Superman 2025 movie review. This is not my favorite Superman or Clark Kent. That does not mean that I thought the movie was bad or trash or anything like that. It's just not my favorite not Spider-Man. Did I say Spider-Man earlier? Superman. Excuse me. Right now, my favorite Superman is Henry Cavill from Man of Steel, the Zack Snyder verse. I did love Man of Steel. I hated BVS, and I did love the Snyder cut of Justice League, not the Whedon version. And also Brandon Routh's Superman movie. That was cool too. I never saw the original Superman like all the way through, like from the 70s, the Richard Donner, the Donner cut and all that. But I digress. Now, two of the things, first thing that I want to get right, or no, that I did get wrong in my non-spoiler review was Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific, Mr. Terrific, Mr. Terrific. I was pretty hard on his character in my non-spoiler review. I did say to myself that he reminded me, or he came across as like a stereotypical black man, like, oh man, that's whack, or that's dope. And the reason why, if you've seen that film, Not Another Teen Movie, that's the first thing that came to mind. I didn't like it where in the film, he was like, oh man, you brought that dog, and it was just a couple of other short one-liners that kind of rubbed me the wrong way when I saw it the first time. Now, I am recording this Friday morning. I did see the film originally Monday night, and then I saw it again the second time last night, Thursday night, with a normal audience, normal auditorium, all that good stuff. And I don't know if I want to say I liked the film slightly more, but some of the things didn't bother me as much, and one of those is Mr. Terrific. Now, his action scene to where him and Lois show up at that camp with the DNA tracking of Superman and he lets off all of his T-spheres, that was badass. I love that. I'm really glad that he had his moment to shine as far as all of his action and fighting capabilities are concerned. I don't know much about the character, but if that is what Mr. Terrific can do with those T-spheres, I definitely want to see more of him. I don't want to say that I want a full movie with Mr. Terrific. Not saying that I wouldn't be happy about it. I wouldn't be disappointed or anything like that. But is it necessary? I mean, it's not anything that I want, but it is something that I would really, really appreciate. All of my comic book experts out there, I do wish they would have went into, and I guess we can learn this later on in the future in the new DCU by James Gunn. Like, he has the mask on his face and it's a T. Like, what is the point of that? What's the purpose? Is it just for design because they call himself Mr. Terrific and it's a T? I don't know. Now, I wanted a bit more explanation to his character. Like, I am aware of Green Lanterns. Okay, I've been aware of Green Lanterns since, I was a child, and I understand the lore, their backstory, and how their powers work. the Green Lantern in this film, Guy Gardner, his name was just Guy, or Guy Gardner, and his moniker is Green Lantern, the Green Lantern Corps. That's very self-explanatory. Hawkgirl, on the other hand, she has wings and she has a mask that resembles a hawk. So that's pretty self-explanatory too. So Green Lantern, Guy Gardner is pretty self-explanatory. Hawkgirl is pretty self-explanatory. But Mr. Terrific, I don't know why he has a T on his face. Like, I don't know, does that help him think more? I mean, I don't know. Does it help him when he's sleeping, he's dreaming? I really don't know. And I mean, does he just want a T on his face for design? Like, does that have any type of abilities that that a non-comic book expert should be or shouldn't be aware of? I don't know. Like, what does it do? What is its function? What is the purpose? And, you know, he has the mask on. Like, why didn't he cover his whole face? Why is it just a T? Why is it, you know, like, I want to know these things. So that was a bit frustrating right there. But I'm not going to make too big a deal about it. And one moment, I have another computer over here that's making a little bit of noise. So I do apologize about that. But to all my comic book nerds out there, comic book experts, please let me know that down in the comment section below. I would really like to know that. Also, just like, you know, I was a bit annoyed the first time and the second time where he was in the pocket dimension and he had his T-Sphere leading Superman and Metamorpho and his baby and Krypto the dog out of there. He's like, hey, follow me. And Krypto is chasing the T-Sphere, and he's like, man, that ain't cheap. You know, I don't know. It's just something about that kind of bugged me. I mean, y'all can let me know if I'm tripping. Overall, I did like Mr. Terrific because I don't know. I guess I'm just biased, and his powers were pretty badass. So, you know, I was annoyed with his dialogue and just like, man, that ain't cheap, and I'm Mr. Terrific, and I don't need your help. You know, and also, when when they was at the Hall of Justice and before they went to go try to rescue Superman out of the pocket dimension, this is James Gunn's humor right here. When he was opening up the garage to get in his vehicle, the garage door was just opening very, very slowly. Lois made the joke like, hey, you have this super duper technologically advanced flying device, but your garage door opener is super slow. Like, come on, man. You're killing the moment, James Gunn, with the humor. Why did the garage door have to go slow? Can we please get the pacing in the film going? You're like ruining all of these superhero moments, and it's really bugging me. That's just James Gunn's humor that I think should have been dialed down just a little bit. And it was just a bit annoying to me. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that, whether you agree or disagree. Something else that I did get wrong or I have a different opinion on now is I complained in my non-spoiler review about the parents of Clark Kent, Ma and Pa Kent. I said in my non-spoiler review that I didn't feel the connection. There was no, you know, it didn't grab me emotionally. It just didn't do anything for me. I think at that time I was just kind of bored because nothing was happening, but I was just like, man, like it just really seems like there's no there's no chemistry in between Clark Kent and Pa Kent or Ma Kent. I feel slightly different about that now after seeing it a second time, because when Clark was sitting outside their home or the barn on the bench, and Pa Kent came over, was like, you know, move over so I can, you know, sit down. They was having a conversation, they was having a dialogue. Pa Kent got emotional and was like, I couldn't be more proud of you, son, because he was talking about the message that, you know, Clark was talking about the message that came through with his Kryptonian biological parents, and how he thought it was this, and that's how what led him to be the man that he is today. The second time watching it, I was like, okay, this is quite nice right here. I like the development. I like the relationship. I like the dynamic between those two characters right there. So there was a bit of emotion. So those are the two things that I really just got wrong. I don't want to say wrong, but I just have a slightly different perspective watching it my second time around. You guys can let me know whether you agree or disagree. Now, let me just go into a deep dive into some things that I did like or that I did not like about the film that I couldn't do in my non-spoiler review. One thing that did not make sense to me is, well, or first of all, let me lead up to this. I gave the movie a 7 out of 10. And I think I'm going to stick with that 7 out of 10. I don't think this movie is great, fantastic, but I also don't think this movie is trash, garbage. I think it's right there in the middle. It's a good movie at best, but that's just my opinion. My overarching issue with it is the tone, the humor from James Gunn. While it was fun, there was nothing in this film that took itself seriously. It was too lighthearted, and for the most part, there was no sense of danger throughout this whole movie whatsoever, except for maybe one action scene to where I'll talk about a little later on in this video. But when the kaiju was a baby dinosaur or a baby kaiju and then, grew up really big, there was no sense of danger. Superman and the Justice Gang were really lackadaisical as far as how to deal with this creature. I mean, they just didn't feel like they were going to die. As soon as we saw the kaiju at its full adult or grown-up state, we cut to a shot of Superman holding it up from the bottom of his foot, and there's a dog barking. Well, first of all, I'm annoyed that the dog was more concerned with Superman than a giant dragon kaiju monster. Like, the dog did not seem scared at all. Superman really just seemed like he was struggling either. It just seemed like he was at a gym doing a workout that he couldn't wait to get over with. Like, oh, golly, I'm sorry. I just want to get this over with. Let me get these presses out the way so I can go home and binge some Netflix or something like that. And then the dog is on that puddle of water on the ground, and Superman saved the dog like he's supposed to, but he used his ice breath to freeze the ground and push the dog from under the foot of the kaiju. That was just annoying to me because, like I said, it was just too lackadaisical. There was no sense of urgency. There was no sense of danger. Superman was not worried that he was going to get crushed. The dog wasn't worried that he was going to get crushed. I do like the display of powers and ability for Superman doing the ice breath, and he did that a little later on. But if we're going to save dogs and puppies, can we have it to where it's just a bit more epic and badass to where the kaiju is about to step on the puppy and kill it, but Superman flies in at the last moment and scoops up the dog and then, throws it over here? I don't know. That just would have seemed like, it just would have been better, in my opinion. We also had a scene right after that where Superman is saving a squirrel. Okay, squirrels, but come on, man, like a squirrel, why couldn't you save a human being? Now, you did try to save a human being right here in this scene, which was all over the trailer. But guys, when you saw the movie, the little girl was literally like 10 to 15, I don't even want to say 15 feet. She was 10 feet away from the base of the kaiju with her back turned, walking away, and it looked like she was kicking rocks. Like, little girl, what are you doing? What? I don't understand. Like, how do you not know that there's a giant figure right behind you about to crush you to death? And then Superman comes in with this epic slow-mo saving the day. But I was clocked out at that moment in time. I was like, little girl, you deserve to die. Like, seriously, the image that you're looking at right now, on the left-hand side, there's maybe 4 or 5 more tanks, and then that's where the kaiju monster was. Or Superman said, I would have been screaming at her like, girl, get the hell out the way. I'm trying to save as many people as possible, and you kicking rocks 10 feet from the kaiju monster? I didn't like that. That really did bug the crap out of me. Now, after they kill the kaiju, and Superman is like, oh, I wanted to have it escape so we can study it. And Mr. Terrific coming there with that dialogue, come on, man, which, I really didn't like. Everybody is running to Superman. Hey, thank you for saving the day. Little kids are running up to him and they're hugging him and all of that. And then 5 seconds later, stuff starts popping up on everybody's cell phone, billboards. Superman, it has a nefarious intentions. He's coming to rule over us. He's coming to kill us. They're running into his arms. Thank you, Superman. We love you, love you, love you. He made the announcement 3 years ago. And just from that one post online on social media, everyone does a 180-degree turn, a shift, and they just start hating him, throwing trash, throwing debris. F you, Superman, you suck. And I just did not like that at all. Like, nobody wanted to be like, wait a minute. Superman been around for 3 years. He made his announcement 3 years ago. He's been here for 30 years, ain't ever hurt nobody, but now we just want to believe this random piece of crap news outlet in 2025, and we don't know exactly what year this film is taking place. We know that there's a bunch of false flags out there and misinformation, AI or anything like that. So the fact that James Gunn did not want to give the general public they didn't want to, he didn't want to have the general public give Superman the benefit of the doubt and be like, all right, you know, I don't know about this right here. It looked bad, but Superman has been good to me. You know, he did save me here, here, and here. That was very annoying to me. I just didn't like that. That was kind of rushed. I really wasn't cool with that writing right there. And also, guys, let me know this. They were able to, they said that they had 20 or so experts around the world that verified the validity of that Kryptonian message from his parents. It's in Kryptonian language. How were they able to translate that, interpret it? I don't know. Did I miss something? That really stood out to me the first time I saw the film, and it really stood out to me the second time I saw the film as well. Like, I don't understand how y'all was able to translate that. How are you able to translate Kryptonian language? Now, maybe 3 years ago when Superman made his announcement and he's, going around the press and all that, at some point in time, he gave them a Kryptonian dictionary or explained the language to them or something like that. But that really didn't make sense to me. Like I said, it was annoying, but you guys, let me know what you think down in that comment section below. Another character that I did like is the engineer. I don't know anything about this character. There was a brief intro from Lex Luthor, played by Nicholas Hoult, of how he put some bots or nanotech in her blood so that she can conjure up anything that she thinks of, kind of like the Green Lantern Corps as well. She was badass. I liked her action. She looked the part. She did well. She was a smaller build, but there was still something strong and threatening about her presence. So I really did like her right there. I have no complaints whatsoever. I also do like Guy Gardner as Green Lantern. I thought he was pretty cool too. Nathan Fillion, of course, we've heard of him before. He's been around for quite some time. I won't say that I'm a diehard fan or anything like that. But the guy is cool, from what I have seen him in past work, and he was cool in this right here. I do like his sense of humor. I am not a Green Lantern expert as far as knowing how much all the ins and outs for Guy Gardner, but I know more of Hal Jordan, the white Green Lantern, and my goodness gracious, I cannot believe I'm forgetting the black man Green Lantern. Golly, this is crazy. Y'all, I'm gonna lose my John Stewart. Jesus Christ, John Stewart. I can't believe I forgot that. I know more about their characters as far as Green Lantern is concerned. And now also, I did not like the costumes. Like, I didn't like Superman's costume in this film. I didn't like their costumes either. In the film, I was like, oh, their costumes suck. It just looks cheap. It looks, really loose. But after I saw the film the second time around, it really didn't bother me that much. It was cool. Mr. Terrific was fine with all his powers and abilities. Green Lantern was as well. Hawkgirl, I don't know much about. I think that they come from the planet Thanagar. I think they're Thanagarians or something like that. Y'all can let me know if I'm wrong or right with that. But she was cool. She was screaming a lot. I do like the mace. And so, you guys let me know if you guys agree with that or not. Something that was disappointing to me that I was looking forward to is Wendell Pierce. It's Perry White. Now, I've seen tons of other iterations of Perry White in the comics. Not in the comics. I'm not a comic expert like that. I get all of my comic book knowledge, if it wasn't obvious already, from the old school cartoons, animated movies and stuff like that. Not much from the comics. I mean, I know what all the comic book experts talk about on YouTube, which I've been diving into for the past 10 years or so. But I like Wendell Pierce as an actor. So when I saw him a part of this movie, I was like, okay, hey, I like Wendell Pierce. It's another black man. That's what's up right there. I like to see people that look like me in movies and television. But I was really disappointed with his role because I feel like it was cut short. There was not much screen time to his character. You can tell that a lot of his scenes were put on the cutting room floor. Also, just shout out to all of the people that was able to attend the press junket, especially Miss Sharonda with Pay a Wait. I think that she did talk to him as well. She talked to nearly the whole cast. And his interview, he was so passionate about his role and trying to get it right and speaking about James Gunn, knowing of what he wanted to shoot and what not to shoot. And there just really wasn't that much wasted energy on set, making this film. And so, yeah, Wendell Pierce is an actor, but when I saw him talking like that, I'm like, okay, he has a significant role in this movie, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. But that's just not the case. I did think his line of dialogue was a bit corny when they were in Mr. Terrific spacecraft vehicle at the end. He was like, looks good, cut it, print it, edit it, publish it. I was just like, okay, now it seems like this is miscast. That just didn't flow for me at all. That came off a bit jarring. So I don't know. I mean, am I tripping as far as that's concerned? Y'all let me know if I am or not down in that comment section below. Now, one of the things that I do also now that I want to talk about is Ultraman. And I cannot believe that there is not a poster available for me to show you guys unless I just didn't download it. I'm actually trying to do that right now. Now, I've said this maybe 4 or 5 times in this video already that I'm not a comic book expert, but y'all let me know, it did bug the hell out of me when they kind of rushed through his arc, his story in this film towards the end where he was fighting Superman and he got his mask taken off, or he took off his mask and he revealed himself as a clone of Superman. And Lex is like, oh yeah, by the way, I cloned you after I have been tracing all of your fights and battles to try to get a trace of your DNA, and I cloned you. He is stupid. He's stupider than you are, but more. He's dumber than you are. He's more stupid than you are, stronger and easier to control. In the comics, isn't that a big deal? Them cloning of Superman or Ultraman, and then they just rushed over that. Isn't that like a big character or a big story arc in the Superman comic lore? So we get Lex Luthor rushing through that, but then they throw him in a black hole. Are we ever going to see him again? I mean, that was just kind of like a waste to me. I don't like that at all, and I don't understand like why they were rushed through that like that. I mean, it just seemed like a big deal that probably could have been his own movie in itself. Just Superman versus Ultraman. But if it's not that big deal in the comics or whatever, let me know. I could be mistaken, but I just kind of thought that was a big deal. And, you're cloning stuff, and this is just kind of like rushed through. Now, as far as where that came from, Lex Luthor, played by Mr. Nicholas Hoult, I thought he did a great job. Man, this guy is petty 9,000. I mean, jealousy, envy, all balled up into one. A very, very disgusting character. Did a great job. I like him. Now, like most people, most of my knowledge of Superman comes from the 90s animated cartoon. And in that series, Lex Luthor was big and swole like a bodybuilder. And there's also other video games and animated, films and features, television shows to where Lex is, built like he looks like he's in the gym, looks like he can fight and all that. So I was really turned off in the Snyderverse with Jesse Eisenberg being cast as Lex Luthor. I thought that was horrible. But I think Nicholas Hoult is a lot better. The only thing I did not like about his casting is I did want a more muscular, more swole type of Lex Luthor. That's just because of what I'm used to. I don't want him just to have money and brains. I kind of want him to have some type of physical presence as well. You guys let me know again whether you agree or disagree. But as far as the performance is concerned, I thought it was great. I did like it. And Lex has been at this for a long time. I mean, he has all of the technology, pocket universes, portals. I mean, he had to have a few hundred of those containers in that pocket dimension holding people captive. And he also said that he's holding people captive there, different world leaders across the globe, for bragging rights and stuff I mean, that's a lot of connections right there. It just seems like that information would have leaked out somewhere and he would have been exposed. But at the same time, Lex, I do know he's very, very powerful, and he has a lot of money. I mean, the little bit of comic knowledge that I do have, I do know that about him. But I'm just like, damn, how long you been at this, bro? Because one of the things I do like at the very beginning of the movie is the intro. They said 300 years ago is where metahumans popped up on Earth. And that was the new era of gods and monsters. 30 years ago, Superman landed on Earth. 3 years ago, he made his announcement. 3 hours ago, Superman stopped a battle or something. And then 3 minutes ago, he lost his first battle which was really Ultraman, the Captain, whatever his name, Gigantor or Mr. Titan Man, a Smash. I forgot his name. Y'all can let me know in the Captain Baravia or something like that. I forgot. So I do like that. But I want to know, like, how long has Lex been at this to where he's able to have all these resources, and like, how old is he? That is something that I would like to know later on in this DCU. It's just something I would really, really appreciate. And since this is kind of like year 3 of Superman, like, should we still get an origin story? But not just an origin story for an origin story for Superman, but you're also introducing other aspects, other characters, other story points and plots in the DCU as well. You know, I mean, we can have more than one plot going on at one time. So, you know, you guys let me know if that would pique your interest or not. And the whole scene with Lex beating up Superman, this dude here had, I think he said he recorded 2,500 moves of Superman and had it in the database and was able to predict everything. I mean, this was just such a big pile of losers of how they're jacking each other off, playing video games, trying to beat each other. Oh yeah, I got him. You know, 13B, 13A, I'm just 17C, BBB. I mean, the way they was just getting off on each other, I was just like, man, y'all are a bunch of weenies. You know, this is, and Lex is a weenie and the king of weenies, but that was very comical to me. Had the black man Otis, he was cool too, you know, with the liver. I do like the guy though with the bifocals that was kind of checking Lex, like, you know, this is dangerous, it's unstable, we're gonna die, you're gonna destroy the world. I did like him. I did like all that back and forth. He was not afraid of Lex was going to tell him how he felt. I really did appreciate that. So that's really cool right there. But you know, and I do like I like his line of dialogue too. Like, I wonder where we're going to land if there's no Earth left. You know, so that was cool right there. I really did like that. Let me jump back over to let me go to Krypto real quick. Let me find the image of Krypto the dog. Krypto the dog. I know. Here we go. Krypto the dog. Did y'all like Krypto? Krypto, he was a dog, but he was a bit annoying. I did like him attacking the engineer in the Fortress of Solitude. That was cool. And I do like him destroying all of the monitoring devices to help Superman towards the end of the movie defeat Ultraman. That was cool. But what annoyed me about the dog and the humor is at the very beginning of the film, where Superman is trying to leave the Fortress of Solitude after he was healed by the concentrated sun rays. You know, Krypto kept biting his leg and all that. I'm just like, I don't know, that was just annoying to me. I just didn't like it. Also, where they were in the pocket dimension and Krypto was in that sphere being fed those images of squirrels flying. As soon as Superman freed him, James Gunn decided to write Krypto playing with Superman right there, trying to lick him and play with him right there. We trying to escape. Okay, the black hole is opening up. There's a anti-protein river down there messing up stuff. The everything is being unstable and the portal is closing. But James Gunn wanted to throw in a joke right there. Also, while Superman was in the protein river about to be sucked into the black hole, he's calling Krypto to come and save him. But Krypto, instead of coming and saving him, he's licking on the green alien's child or the metamorphosed son. Like, what? Why are we doing this? Superman is about to die in this protein river and going to be sucked into a black hole, and you don't want to save him. You want to lick the baby? That was just unnecessary comedy right there. And again, while I said this film is too lighthearted, there was no sense of danger. I thought that everybody was going to be okay. If the characters in the film are not going to be taking the situation seriously, how do you expect the audience to take things seriously? So Krypto doing that in 3 or 4 scenes out the whole movie. And I talked about the kaiju scene earlier, and that really bugged the hell out of me. Now, do I have an image for this next part that bothered the hell out of me? And I don't. I had one a long time ago, but I don't have one now. Y'all remember when they were promoting this film a long time ago, and they had the image of Superman putting on the boots, and they had that, it was at nighttime, his suit was dirty, and they had the pink and the green neon lights in the background. During this scene in the movie, Lois was there too. Superman was saying, hey, I'm thinking about turning myself in. You know, they have this information. I don't want to piss anybody off. Lois is like, why? And then there was some type of demon monster creature that was the size of a building shooting out pink plasma rays versus Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, and Hawkgirl, the Justice Gang. And it was a goofy scene. Superman is like, oh, they got this handled over there. In the background, Green Lantern has this giant mallet just swinging it around, hitting the thing, and it's making all these boink noises. Boink, boink, boink. I'm just like, again, if nobody is taking it seriously in the movie, how can the audience member take it seriously as well? No sense of danger, no sense of urgency. It's just a joke. At this point in time, there was no action scene in this film that had any weight to it. Now, the Superman versus Ultraman and the Engineer towards the end, that was dope. And I was somewhat curious on how this is going to play out, you know, but at the same time, it was clouded by some other things that I'm going to talk about in a second. Going back to the Fortress of Solitude, where the Engineer and Lex Luthor and Ultraman was breaking into his facility. And Jeremy Johns said that in this review as well, and I do agree with him. Where Lex is walking, yes, I like the confidence that he had, but one of the Engineer's blades flew right by his face and then cut one of the robots. There's sparks flying everywhere. You're going to flinch. You're going to be like, whoa, you know, like it's heat, it's materials that's hot. It's right across your face. So, you know, that really bothered me right there. It just kind of clocks you out of the moment. Now, the action scene towards the end where they're fighting the Engineer, where Superman is fighting the Engineer and Ultraman with Mr. Terrific as well, that was dope. I do like that. I like that Superman was just like, I'm about to die. Let me fly out up in the sky as high as possible. You use this friction, get these things off. And I wasn't expecting them. I wasn't expecting the Engineer and also Ultraman to catch up. But they did. They did. Now I'm trying to remember. The Engineer wasn't dead. I remember the woman saying she's alive, she's breathing, but she's unconscious. And I think that's the last time we saw her. But, you know, and then when he fought the Ultraman and he got thrown into the black hole. Again, that was cool too. That was one of the best action scenes right there. But there's no personality to Ultraman. I mean, he's fighting with Lex Luthor. And so he's just an empty shell. So it's not, I mean, I want it to be more personal. And it's not through Ultraman or Lex. Lex is just jealous. I said in my non-spoiler review, like, I understand that Lex, he's just really mad that Superman is taking all the attention away from him. And that is how he was in all of the animated movies and television shows that I've seen. And you had that in this film. So I got to give James Gunn credit there. And at least Lex owned up to it. But in the film, could you have written that a bit more? Could you have just been like, okay, hey, not only is he going to be jealous and envious, we also have another valid reason why he doesn't like Superman, because he made him lose money. He made him, you know, lose a seat in, you know, political office or something. He wanted to be some elected official and Superman exposed him and, you know, he lost votes or something like that. Or Superman let one of his loved ones die, save these people, but didn't save these people. That I would have appreciated that more. But no, he was just jealous. And I mean, that's just a bit annoying to me, you know, just Like, I don't know. I mean, we always have villains that just want power, power, power. And even though that's a simple plot, there's still more powerful writing device than what Lex was dealing with here. So I don't know. Y'all let me know if I'm tripping or not. I would really appreciate it. I would really, really appreciate it. I did like Lois Lane. She was cool. No complaints there at all. Jimmy, you know, he's not my favorite character, but I don't have anything against him. I did find it a bit ridiculous that he has so much screen time with his character right here, Eve. You know, I mean, there was a lot. I don't know what the running joke was about where Jimmy is a ladies' man. I don't know if that's comic accurate, animated accurate or not, but for them to spend so much time on their relationship when you could have spent it elsewhere, I would have appreciated it more. Give their screen time, excuse me, I'm sorry. Give that screen time to Clark Kent. Give that screen time, because we didn't get much of Clark Kent in this film. Give that screen time to Wendell Pierce. Give that screen time to anybody else. But for her to have so much screen time and have such a silly way of throwing her into the plot, into the story, like all these selfies that she's taking, you know, or to expose Lex, I just kind of wanted a bit more than that, you know. I don't know. Am I tripping? Am I asking for too much here? You guys let me know. You guys let me know. Now, I'm coming up to the end of this review. I think I pulled up all the images that I wanted to bring up to express all of my thoughts. I hope that I'm not leaving out anything. Yeah, I think I'm good there, you know, but again, my main criticism for the film is it was a cartoon. It wasn't serious. It was too lighthearted, too fun. And somebody was like, there's no such thing as too much fun. I guess you can say that, but I just wanted a little bit more seriousness, you know, and I just didn't get that in this film. I do like the robots were cool. One of them was by the name of Gary. You know, we also had Rick Flag and in this film as well. He was cool. I don't know much about Metamorpho or Metamorphosis or what his name is. When they first started marketing this film, I thought that was Martian Manhunter, but that's not the case. That's not who he is. He's a completely different character. But let me see. Yeah, so I talked about the kaiju and how unserious that film or that sequence was. Talked about the alien backdrop where Green Lantern was hitting it with the mallet. And also, like, when they was fighting the kaiju, like, Hawkgirl was like, oh, I need your help. I'm stuck in the eye. And then Green Lantern threw that device and was poking it in the eye as well. I'm just like, this is, no one is taking it seriously. No one is scared. That they're treating this like it's just an annoying inconvenience instead of a threat that can actually hurt people. And if that's going to be your first action scene, you know, in a Superman movie, I just think you're dropping the ball there. You know, I just think you should take things more seriously. Also, how did y'all feel about the leader? What is it, Bolivar, or the country that was trying to invade the other one? The guy with the wild hair. I kind of thought that was a misdirection. I thought that was Metamorphosis or Metamorpho, like pretending to be that guy or something like that. How did y'all feel there? That was one of the smallest battlefields that I've ever seen in my entire life. But, you know, I'm not going to make a big deal out of that. But, I mean, this movie it was entertaining. It was entertaining, but, you know, it wasn't my favorite. And I don't know if I want to talk. I mean, I may link up with somebody else to talk more because I'm pretty sure there's some things that I did forget. But for now, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. So hopefully you did enjoy my spoilers review. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Spoil, spoil, spoil. It is A-OK. And I will see you guys next time. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget, I'm B. Avery. It's just my opinion. Peace. And I'll see you next time.